I mean, game day eve is the best day. I mean, let's be honest, this is a 4-year build-up to game day eve of the Netball World Cup 2023, so it's been a long time in the plans. And I think, you know, the last 3 weeks in particular, 2 UK base camps followed by 9 or 10 days in Stellenbosch for our kind of South Africa prep camp, have gone as good as we could hope. Not only is there just a great energy in the team, which you've most probably heard me say before, it's not a given, like we work really hard at that, but I also think the way in which the team and the coaching staff have applied ourselves with every training session and every match opportunity has been excellent, and I'm really pleased with both the intensity but the engagement. I think there's real clarity of role, there's clarity of our structures. Nothing we've done these last few weeks has been new, and there's been a real sense of kind of a growing confidence amongst the team, both in their understanding but also their application of what it is we know we need to do over the next 10 days. But one thing that I think the group have been brilliant at is everybody's contributing. So if you're in and around the court at a session, we've worked really hard at everyone both having a voice and being heard. And it's important, irrelevant of kind of age and stage, whether you're a debutant, whether you've got 1 cap or you've got 200, that everybody does genuinely feel that. So I think when you're near to the core, I would like to think that you'd see quite a lot of collaborating, quite a lot of sharing of that knowledge. I think the value of the likes of a Jiva and a Jade in particular is that they've obviously been there and done it several times, and I think they just bring like a pragmatism, I guess, to some of the things that may play out. And I think it's away from the court in our team meetings and, as you say, in some of our discussions and growing kind of developing our culture, where their experience really plays out more, I would say. And it's just in those subtle informal times, you know, for me sat with Jade is often something that I look at from afar, and it fills me with joy and pride, because it's just in those informal moments where you know the magic is really happening, and just for them to feel safe that they can turn to their left or right and they've got people that have been here before. In the same breath, I would say that the likes of Jiva and Jay benefit massively from the freedom and naivety of most probably our youngest players or debutants to a World Cup, because it energises them. They ask questions that we most probably now take for granted, those that have been here before. And I think that brings a really lovely freshness to the group, and it sets them on their way to achieve history as this team. Every time it's a slightly different team, so this group are really wanting to stamp their authority this time around, be better than we've been the last couple of years, and to see if we can go one step further than any Roses team in a World Cup. Obviously we've been staring at these fixtures for a long time now and preparing for them, and I think, you know, a long time ago I went to the Singapore World Cup, and I remember I went there deliberately to try and study the best nations in the world and how they use these early games to best prepare purposefully for I guess the tighter games and the games at the far end of the tournament. So I guess it's a decade's worth of kind of curiosity as to how we can be better in that space as a Roses team. So it's an exciting start to our campaign. You know, we come up against the flamboyant Barbados to start with, and then move straight into Malawi and then on to Scotland. So as for most teams, you're hitting very different styles in quick succession, and Commonwealth Games obviously allowed us a chance to really go out against that and take the learnings from that. So our expectations are high in terms of outcome, but really where we've focused most is our performance and how purposeful we can make those performances so that they don't just get the outcome that we need in the short term, but they prepare us best for games and styles deeper in the tournament as well. So yeah, expectations high in terms of outcome. You know, we can't afford to slip up at this stage of the tournament, but we certainly want to leave stage one with some great performances and with everybody feeling confident. Game day, to be honest, it's a tricky one because emotions and excitement are really high, but in terms of the work, it's done. So it's often I've found that since I moved to coaching a long time ago, it's how to manage yourself through what is quite rightly a quiet time for the players, quite restful, trying to give them a lot of relaxation time and mindfulness and preparing mentally for the game. And that applies to us as well. I don't get too carried away too early in the day, although I do get up very early. So yeah, my days will still start kind of 5 a.m. and that's mainly to give myself a little bit of headspace and a bit of peace before it gets busy, and then I can help others through the ups and downs of what game day brings. It's just excitement, and I think there's just that, you get this close to the tournament now and you do just want to get on the court and play. We've had really physical training blocks, and these last few days we've quite rightly tapered. We'll have a team meeting in the morning which really is just touching back on things we've already discussed around our opponents, just making sure everyone's really super clear on their role, what our intentions are at the front of the game, where we might find ourselves through the game tactically, and just ensuring that the girls are really clear on that. And then we leave them alone. So yeah, lunchtime onwards is a tricky one for a coach. I think there's a lot of downtime, and so finding some good distractions whilst remaining focused is something that's quite difficult. But I quite enjoy it, and yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, team meeting, a little bit of checking with the coaches. We do a little bit more of a go through our plans for the match, and then yeah, we just meet the players back up. Pre-departure meeting, which is more about the emotive thing. It's getting eyes on each other, looking each other in the eye, checking in, making light of it to an extent, and making sure that we stay true to our character. This group talk about fun, but they also talk about getting down to business. So we like to come together before we leave the venue, and then from there on in, yeah, it's just at the venue, taking in all of the environment, and in particular here, the first time on African soil, we expect it to be loud and colourful, and can't wait to embrace that and energise us for game one.